Hello, listeners. Hi, my name is Madhavi, and I'm so happy to have you on UppTalk. You have come to the right place if you want to learn about IT and do really cool things with your hands. We are not just another IT company when I say UppTalk. Think of us as your learning partner dedicated to helping you reach your full potential. We have top notch hands on courses to help you build your business, whether you are new to technology or want to move up in your current job. Let's look around this as our first step towards learning.
There are some other features for which we use to supervisory organizations and which is helping us to move the organizational structure. These are assigned roles, the staffing model, and the movement of the staffing. Let's say you want some sort of colleagues or your direct reportee to move from one supervisory organization to another. We can do through the help of supervisory organization structure, which you guys often see when somebody is promotes or when somebody wants to switch the department or when somebody do a team change that you need a manager change. Usually it says a manager change that can also be addressed through change of transaction. You do a change job and add a reason at manager change or transfer to another manager. But actually there is another task as that is a move worker by supervisory organization or move worker by organization. These two tasks is not somewhat equal to the change job transaction, but it is allowing you to do a bit of a fast movement. Comparing to following all the approvals, I'll help you display both the transactions, both the process. That way you will identify or you will analyze by yourself which one is easier and faster. Before that, when somebody says or when somebody named any organization, what all factors or what all things imagine or you think or you ask. Understand by naming any organization. Let's say one of you are setting up their own organization, their own company. What all things you need to do. Organization, business organization. How do you set up an image? Let's take an hypothetical example. Bharat, you need to set up and company, what all things you need to take care of before setting up a company. First step would be company other. ERP is we have business. Business unit. I don't know how it works in Workday. And then set up an EN. Enterprise identification number for the company. Location. It's for the company and obviously, since this is HR employees. Various hierarchy of the employees in the organization. Positions, pay rates, all that. Location is one common factor. Then you set business unit. Any other common departments. That comes under supervisory organization, but yes, department also required. Cost and cost center, location, business unit, three things, any other you can think of. A great job position. That is something beyond setting up the primary element. For which for the new company you need to TAN and PAN comes later on. Company is the one. You must be calling something to your company. Naming convention that comes later, cost and trade is the one. Then Location, where do you set up your company? Then, of course, you need a location. A call center. For what component? That is company after that. These three components, which is primary, what you need to do to run your business, to hire or to do all sort of transactions. You need to register. It needs to be legal entity that comes under the business unit functioning. Company and business unit, you do all sort of organization and admin stuff. What is one common factor? And guys, you're working, since you must be aware of the different terms EME, AMR, APA, AMR, or Northern America. What are these things? When you calling these terms, what are these things? Payroll. Somewhat close, not precise. Time and labor. Any other random guess? What are these things? When I say APAC or Middle East Asia, or those are regions. Regions is one thing. Great, good catch. How many? Common factors are a common element which we need. Cost, enter 1. Location to department. Any primary component for department. A department is a subcomponent. Where do you set up department? Where? No, I couldn't hear you properly. Sorry, I cannot. Say no account. No, not that. How do you call that account? In more technical, or maybe you say more Workday language, or not just Workday. Language in your own day-to-day exercise where you set up some managerial post or managerial organization hierarchy. Yep, organization hierarchy. You say supervisory organization hierarchy. Under that, you will be having multiple departments. Organization and those departments are the subcomponent of supervisory organization. All 5 components are basic element, or you can say the prime element of any organization. When you set up any organization in any location or anywhere, these 5 components is something that you need to have. Take an example. Go to any profile or same. Those who have their active tenant, you can also follow the steps. Open this profile or anyone's display picture reflecting on your home screen. Go to view profile. And under that job and under that we have set up called organization. In this organization, this is your members of this organization. Basically the component, this is your company under which all the employees, or at least this employee is working. Then this is your cost center. She's working in recruiting at cost center. And this is the cost center hierarchy, recruiting and primary. The cost center is 400, 300. Then this is company hierarchy. Hierarchy, this person is working in under this Ankit 13 yardage underscore company hierarchy. Somebody created it. When we are creating, after this demo, when we will be creating it, we will have our company hierarchy here. If we move this employee into that organization hierarchy, then this is your location and location hierarchy. Currently, this employee belongs to all these hierarchies. Primarily in the production, there will be only one location hierarchy and there will be only one location. Then this is your region. That is headquarters, corporate, and this is your supervisory. This person is reporting to HR service department. This is the organization. Detail in which means this person or this team member or this employee is. Following or reporting under these components. The second tab shows manager. Leader of this organization, which means she is heading all these components. Possibilities that one person could hold 2 or 3 or 5 or 6 supervisory organizations. But one person cannot be in 2 different companies when you filter out here supervisory. The higher your rank in the organization leads to multiple supervisory organization under your direct supervision. Currently 2981 supervisory organizations where she is somewhere managing the role and the managing the role of somewhat, maybe HR admin, maybe HR manager or anyone. She is owning or having some set of roles along with these supervisory organizations. Under that, there will be one which is her original, which is, I believe, HR department. That is again something which we need to identify or which you can identify after the class. In order to create all these setup HR, there are a number of HRs from different functioning. Jacqueline Global Modern Services. It will take a lot of time to identify. Leave it. When we will be creating all these components, we need a reorganization. Reorganization is name of the company, the primary company or name of the execution. For the organization building or organization configuration, the primary task for us to create all these things and keep everything aligned in one setup is create reorganization. You can note down somewhere or you can refer the recording as those who are having their tenant open. They can follow this. Create reorganization. This task only requires you naming convention, reorganization date and description, nothing else after that. But it will help you to create each and every component which we just identified except figure out that later why the location does not exist. That require reorganization or basically a primary company name under which you are creating your all sub branches or branches. For example, let's take an example of any famous company. Amazon, the e-commerce website, e-commerce giant Amazon is located or it's basically a brand naming. We are providing here a brand naming convention. Any name you can provide me, anyone that could be unique. When we search it, we'll search out in a very top manner. Anything quick. Question, is it the same organization? What are we creating here? Organization. What I understand from your question, as your voice is somewhere breaking. What is the difference between organization and reorganization? Organization is a fact, basically a web of or a collection of all components you created. Cost center created, or you can say you name it. Create a cost center location, company region, and which say business unit type. which you can say supervised your organization department. Organization leads you to the view of hierarchy. The top order in any of the component will be a hierarchy. The top order in any of the component will be headed by one person, or you can say CEO or the top organization if it is not an human, lead or monitored by somebody. Wherever you don't have any manager in a functional manner, where the staff is not moving anywhere out, we can say that is a top leader of the hierarchy. From that, basically, you roll out all these rows from top to bottom. You have one here, then that one will be further divided into two or three, this, and then that two or three will be further divided into one, two or three. You create a basically chart. On top of that, you have an organization head. All the roles you will be assigning to will automatically inherit to a team. All the subordinates, organization, basically collection or a form of hierarchy that we will be creating or any company having in the existence. Reorganization is naming. Convention method, or you can say a band imaging in terms of Amazon. The example I have taken. Here reorganization naming or reorganization name is Amazon. But under that there will be Amazon headquarter or Amazon Private Limited, whatever it is headquartered, somewhere between San Francisco or anywhere California or anywhere New York. After that, there will be 5 or 10 other locations in America itself. All these will be considered as the organizations as a part of a company. It could be one company, it could be statewide company, it could be district-wise. A company that can be considered as business unit, the term you first mentioned. Apart from America, if the company wants to expand its business in any of the continent or any company, then that company again required a naming convention, for example, Amazon India. There is only one Amazon India after in 29 states and 8 and 7, 8 UTs. Whatever is the actual count out of that, what you say, Amazon India. The entire business is running under one name, that is Amazon India. The one name you mentioned here under that Amazon India, any company which is taking the name of the company, country where it is operating in the end or in the beginning or in between that company is. Taking the hierarchical structure in an expandable manner to that particular location, and that location is considered as country hierarchy or company hierarchy. You say under that. You will be having East Zone, West Zone, North Zone, South Zone. That can be referred as region. East region, West region, South region, Central region, and North region. Here you will be having 5 regions of the same company, which is Amazon India. Under that, you will be having different zonal wise of offices located. Located maybe somewhere in Bangalore, somewhere in Mumbai, any location that will be considered as your part of location hierarchy. That is something not exactly. Same, slightly different from organization and reorganization. Any question? That? Any name you suggest anyone, or I'll take mine. CM. Will that be fine? That's fine. Take the effective rate of 1st of October. You can change the effective rate any point of time later on. Unless you have anyone, any member or any other further organizations created under Once it is created and organized and aligned into, you cannot, basically, it is not advisable to put forth your date, but you can do the backward date. Any comment in a description you want to add while creation, while you are, why you are. Creating, what is the purpose or what all components you will be adding into it after. Creation, you can mention it, otherwise leave it. This is our organization. Basically, this is our company name. Under that, by activity, by organization, by activity means whatever function you will be taking care of or you will be creating under since inception to the 1 year to year, 3 years gap or 3 years working, basically not gap. All events will be categorized and noted down in this table tabular format. After, let's say, after 1 year or 2 year of functioning, your company requires a new cost center. That cost center also requires this naming convention under which company or under which brand name you are creating a cost center. It is not, it is something that cannot be left unnamed. It has to provide a name create. Organization is one task. Under that you have several other tasks. Very first is create. Company. Before that, I would suggest you to create a location first because location does not require reorganization name and it is the only component out of all 5, 6 which does not require a component naming create location. Create location hierarchy does. The moment you create a location hierarchy, it will ask for a name. Any suggestion? Maybe you can say any guess why it is not asking for this name to be provided or reorganization provided. Usually what happens when you do? When you create cost center now, you will know what I am actually asking or telling. This requires a reorganization. Where do you want to tag this cost center under? The except location, each and every task which you will be creating and respective to that task, creating a hierarchy, it will ask for reorganization name. For example, you create company. Again, it will ask for a reorganization. It is a location only that does not require the reorganization name. Why is that? Any random idea? The locations are auto-created, the system. We need to basically create locations. Anyone could try. The location could the same location could be for different organizations. Sorry, can you repeat again? The same location could be used for different companies, different organizations. Yes, location is something that is constant. Everything else can be created. Except the location in terms of geographical coordinates and everything, it's not just. We are creating a location. We are defining the geographical coordinates latitude, longitude, and all other if you have any map syntax. You can provide that as location is something that is already exist out of the system and in system as it is something that we are defining it. And that can be see New Delhi or New York or Amsterdam or any other location, Adelaide, Sydney. These are fixed things. And on these locations, there could be numerous companies, number of other companies that can be using those locations. You just provide the location name. Oh, sorry, I'm just typing the location. Anything that you can help me with these things. Any name, you think of unique name or will make unique after that. I'll take mine. Pluto CF Sauron Wonder. Zozan will reflect the reorganization name. What is the use of this location? Why you want to use or why you want to create this location for business side. Job posting, sometimes Workday, reflect an error or soft alert or hard alert this. That is again based on the combination of two things which cannot exist together per workdays. Logic provided in the configuration. If you find it, business site and job posting cannot be same. You need to uncheck it. Campus, you can say maybe. And click, we will understand why we need this. We added business side, we need some sort of definition here for business side as which is time profile will come to. Later for the timing we'll select 37. I'll tell you later what is it exactly. Under the detail section, what type of location it is. It's a building we want this to be set up as building or what service entity. Operation center, headquarter, training center, select building location attributes. If you have any location attribute provided by facility, provided by procurement team, HR management, you can add it, otherwise leave it, this is optional. Superior location. By default, you need to provide one superior location in order to create a hierarchy. If you have now, may be provided by your organization, the location you're creating must report to some other location that they can inherit the values. Otherwise, you leave it. For now, we add this California as a superior location. If you have global location number, again, the company will provide you location identifier. Again, the company. Default ship to location, where the packages and all these shipment related things will go to. That can be, if you want any location that can be marked as ship to location, you can. Do otherwise, leave it. These things even admin teams can also take care of if you have the latitude, longitude, and altitude of that location. It's good that a person who would be, searching this location on Workday, they will have exact location on the map. Next is contact information, and these things will automatically flow into employee's profile when the moment you hire that person into by tagging this location. All these details will reflect on his personal profile. Phone number. Let's state Tommy, can you help me? Is there any random phone number sample? International number. Yes, related to United Kingdom. 41. I hope that is not something personal. It is just made up. Just made up. Oh, and your valid number length does not match all it. We do not need 044, I believe. It is already taking from country code. Great phone device. Which type of phone device it's mobile primary? That's a line. I can select line then. And what this number is used for billing. Remit to shipping, or you have two other options. One or two other options here. You can select from there as which is procurement. You can select that visibility since location is something that needs to be addressed or displayed to everyone. We want public. Again, any random address, sample address. Can somebody take the sample address from? United Kingdom address. One Tower Bridge, London. So, sit. London. Will that take bulletin? Or United Kingdom? Britain. No, that's a county. Oh, sorry. My, my, which one? London belongs to which county? Greater London. Greater London. Or London, or maybe just London. Maybe just London. Thank you. Cool, any idea what's the format? EEC 3 nan, any space between, no E, C 3 nan, then space. And then space EEC or just ECE, C 3 nan space, yep, space there, yep, and then 5 to T. Thank you. Again, you want it primary, and if you want to have these details added, which is good. For business and for others to identify what is the error. Fail to find object data page error. I should say it was somewhere for above 1, not us. Otherwise, you click any point of time. If you want to edit these details, you can go back to this location, Pluto CF Solomon, and go click on the related actions. Since we have not added business side details, go for the business side details. contact information. It looks this and this, all these two tables, both the tables if you have web address. If you have any other things again, that will come up in these two tabular format. And these two tablet format will reflect on the employee profile once you edit. And once you align those employees into this profile, next is business side. We recently added 37.5. What is why we added standard at 37.5 and what is the significance of adding this 37.5 here? Weekly hours, weekly working hours. Weekly working hours for those who will be hiring or working into the UK location automatically. Unless you change automatically, these hours will be assigned to employees. Prof. Again, since we are running into the UK, the country's default currency already mapped to this location. Any shipping, anything is dealing in this country. Why are these country will route to this currency? If you want to change the country location currency override, you can change it to anyone. If you have any default job posting location, you can map it. If you have any local minimum wage authority that is monitoring external wage authority, that is monitoring the local wage with the help of payroll in that particular location. You can add that as local country we need to change. UK United Kingdom. Additional data, which is these two basically functions being maintained by your facility or in it. Once we create all these things, we will allow this location to map against these. Edit location usage if any point of time, if you want to change the campus, you can change our business side. You can change any doubt, any question on this. Function create location. Actually, just a quick question. While performing the reorganization transaction, we have created a backdated record. Does it have any impact on this downstream impact on this location? Hierarchy or something. No, unless that location hierarchy is date will falls in September. We have added the location hierarchy in October itself and the reorganization effectivity is also in October, which means reorganization created first in the backdated and then it is coming in the ascending order and from 1st to 13th there is no addition or anything happened in that organization on 13th. We created or we basically added a component under that reorganization. There is no impact. The date should be equal or greater than that, either should be equal or greater than the reorganization. It's in any point of time if you want, if the business feels that you don't need. This location and you have already moved out all the business from here. You can inactivate it. You need to inactivate it by going to the location and for searching a location, the task. case view location or you just type location, the report will come out on your screen and that will give you option to populate the name of your location, and then you go to related action location and then inactivate it. Here we have look assign location hierarchies when we create a location hierarchy. With this action, we will be aligning that location hierarchy. This location will have a superior to, will have a hierarchy under which this location is directly reporting to and gaining. It's all the inherited values from the hierarchy. We have not created as of now, but will create soon any other additional data. If you want, you can add it. This is for payroll team. They will do the all input and everything. Our function stops from here only. View location, there should be some other function as next task. Akshay, sorry to interrupt, one more question. The location change you have mentioned as California superior location. The address given is for UK. Does that take issue or is that what superior location is California? California is in US and the location that we created is for UK. The address? Thank you. How does that impact? I'm sure you must be in the same setup. Any one of your teammates or your direct manager locating outside your country. How is that impacting? How is the business going? You're reporting to your manager who would be sitting somewhere outside the country. For example, you're working in India, your manager is sitting in UK. Anything that you are facing in terms of location differentiation in the business is or you are seamlessly dealing with him on day-to-day basis on maybe whatever required. Format of parameter or platform is the purpose of having a superior in Workday is to have the connection between the Workday hierarchies. It is not, it basically. It must not be the case. You created something and that is sitting ideal without having any connection. If you don't provide any connection, which means you're higher your profile, you're basically location company will sit without meeting with anyone else and without flowing the values, roles, assigned roles, and other inherited roles, or the you can say a business flow through one to another. Let's say you want to do some sort of movement as in employee movement. If the current location you are creating does not have any connection between anyone. One, you cannot raise something as a part of the movement to assign location or move to different location as an international transport or move worker from other supervised organization. For that, you have to have a proper chain location. Well, thank you. Next task for us. Anyone else is following us on this step, or you guys are just watching now and then do your steps later on? I just created the first step reorg, and then after that, return of the location. Next is create company. Now that we need a reorganization name. This is what we created. The benefit of providing a unique name is that you just put the unique portion in the search result and it will automatically pop in the very first result. Now you are creating a company. We have this much of, and we don't want these. First, an advice, whenever you create something, do properly save it before the page refresh, as it is a testing tenant. After 10, 15 minutes or 20 minutes, it automatically refresh and reload the page wherever you are. Before the refresh, this page reload does not happen on Sandbox and production now that we are creating the company. When we creating the reorganization, we had the availability date here that these two things are auto-populating because we selected the reorganization name, and if you want the company's availability, by this availability, company's availability with the availability of reorganization. Otherwise, you have option to change. Let's say you don't want to have the company created on the same data of reorganization. You can do this on second. Naming convention would be space matter or space material. There is a one will be our unique naming convention code system. Automatically provides a company code or any code. Again, the supervisory region location. Everything have an integration code. This code is also referred as integration code or a reference code in another language. If somebody asks you what is integration code for company or how you can get the integration code for company, you just tell them we need to create that. You need to basically view the company and go to the related action of the company and see the integration code. Or if somebody asks you what is reference code for that company, you can just type the view reference code, view reference ID, and under that organizational setup, provide a companies. The moment you put company I, will basically give you the option of that when we perform the EAB, you will have more information about it. What is subtype? What type of thing it is? It is basically a company, or you can provide business unit as visibility to everyone. Here is the definition, basically understanding. Everyone role assignees. role assignees and members, role assignees of current and superiors. Everyone stands for everyone. Everyone in the organization will have visibility of this company you're creating. Let's select first and submit, and then I'll have a description about it. Otherwise, the page may refresh. Then company currency, then we have test. These are rows which we need. To assign, usually you will be assigning company administrator. Admin, you say the owner of this. Company, the manager of this company who will be managing the transactional values or transactional functions of this company. And there could be two other roles, two or three other roles that you can define. And all these roles will be responsible for managing the inflow and outflow through this company. You can just have manager value function here. And against it, we want Logan McNeil to be a manager of this company. Vice President of Human Resources, Logan McNeil. We don't require this finance. We need Steve Morgan. It could be finance controller. It could be anyone. Financial partner, compensation finance. It could be Steve Morgan. Chief Executive Officer, Steve Morgan. These persons will have transactional authority over these things. Far there are no members here, and this section says whatever configuration we did. We have a company currency made for selected for the Great Britain. Subtype company and availability date, anyone who would require to get a movement on this company. In this company, basically effective 1st of 10, it will not be available. Rollers, the rows we have managed or monitored for here, assigned to these roles, these persons, basically we assigned as a part of the role assignment. And there are 7 roles we assigned the role assignment we did recently. Security groups taking from the role assignment wherever worker this person is assigned. And the security group will act on this company. Additional data. Work to automatically populate additional data. Again, you need to do some sort of actions after creating this company. What are these? And there are a lot of actions, only HR related actions you need to perform. See, there are a lot of edit options available. We need to do is you can do edit company contact information as a part of HR and you can rename. Or provide the code here. Rest, all details are easily, even I'm in the finance, things can do it, or the facility. Team or procurement or coordinator will do it. What we do is edit the company contact information. Same setup which we did for location thing. You need to populate phone number, address, email, instant messenger, web address, all these things. One device, again it's a landline number, primary, and we are not adding any other details. It will save our time. We can do it later on. We recently created two factors, two components, important components. For us, which is the company and location, let's see the reorganization way. Are the details updating there or not? Thank you. We recently created a company named Space Material and it is added here by activity. Under the organization and who added by whom, it is Jacqueline Desjardins' name here. On 13th of October 2024 at 8:59 a.m., which is US time. Organization is Space Material. Reorganization activity. It's a create reorganization and a step activity. Step is create organization. Step Space Material. Similarly, when you do the all set of functioning, which is create cost center, create cost center. This factor, this field, basically restricted to companies. What is? It means any general understanding on this. Specific people from this company would only have the access. This cost enter basically will reflect or use to only the company name or company. Details to provide here. Apart from this, the details you mentioned this will not be visible to any other. Space materials all in one. Cost enter space material all in one. Subtype. It's a cost center for us visibility everyone. Role assignees means whatever role you assign here. Only those will be having accessibility. Cost center, company region location, whatever you created location hierarchy, role assignee and member, which means role assignees, this one plus the members who would be moving under this cost center, company or region role assignees of current and superior, which means any role assignees plus the superior of this cost center. Not the what you say the subordinates, the superior of this cost center. We need everyone, as it quite possible that you are hiring somebody on the top order managerial level and you are hiring somebody as an internal level as that requires this cost center. Location, we created one which is Pluto. We can use that location here whether you want this location in transaction or not. If you want this location to be added and the transaction and details should flow through this. This is checked in non-editable. When required on transaction is checked. Maintain related. Work tag uses usage. We want it for the time being optional. Check it later on. Assign roles again. The cost center also requires some sort of roles. Instead of removing, let's identify here cost center manager, and this will be stock. Steve Morgan. This one. We don't need this. Manager is already here. Owner is already here. And we don't need these things. When you create this function, these functions in real time, in production or in sandbox. Your assigned role section will be blank. You have to add and provide the reasonable amount reasonable roles. Against these roles, you need to provide the person's name who would be managing these roles. Any questions, Fa? Thank you. Same thing you can do with the cost center as if you want to edit the cost center. Edit name of that, you can do it later on with this cost center. You can see the in progress compensation changes, which is directly relating to this compensation cost center. Any competition change report available or tagging to this cost center one-time payment. History flowing through this cost center variable auto payment history compensation. Summary of this cost center, how many transactions been raised through that particular time, all these works you can do. Here under the organization, you can create change visibility section. You can do the view included organization as of. You can compare the team as or you can do view pending. Mass move business process from one cost center to another. In the reorganization, you have option to inactivate the cost center or move worker by organization. If you have any members in this cost center, you can do the movement from here, action, this action. Similarly, in the time and absence of this cost center, you can see all the functions. Roles we already assigned. Next is create region CF Workday HCM. There is a 1. Again, the same set of questions required. Tradition space material subtype. So, visibility again, everyone. And these things are not something that you would be doing on weekly basis unless there is a client project that is happening on every second or third month, or you need some sort of AMS production support, AMS support basically in some of the client section. Finance manager. Manager, you need to add, we already added costing manager. We need somebody from finance, only you. Can add levels, there is stress. These things we require. We created basically primary component cost, enter, created location, company, and read. One thing that we require to add is supervisory organization. Supervisory organization. Then you need a reorganization. Anyone help me with the name of supervised reorganization? Let's say SMAN CF, which is Cloud Foundation. UK Solon 1 include manager and leader name. Yes, we want subtype department. Now that you can call it department because you are ultimately creating different departments as a form of supervisory. Visibility, everyone. Primary location. Now that this required a primary location. Location we created. Pluto people or managers or employees who would be hiring under this supervisory organization will have this primary location as default. Position management enabled. Assign roles. Verify. What is the difference between position management and the job management? Good question. Position management is restricted to a particular position, which further requires a lot of detail. The effective date to enroll. Position requires sometimes hiring through supervisory organization or sometimes hiring through job requisition. And position will help you manage your headcount in a way that you can overlap somebody's position till the time the knowledge transfer is completed. The living person will leave on a particular date and the person who is replacing will sit on the same position. On the other hand, job management doesn't allow all these flexibilities except the one that you can hire number of employees or number of headcount in just one job management. Management created you create a job and you can hire 10, 20, 50, 100, 200 members in. That job requisition, on the other hand, one position can hold one employee only. But that will give you a very diverse example you say, or a field wherein you can. Provide lot of things or parameters on which you want your candidate to hire on. Let's suppose there are two software engineers, then we need to create two position as software engineer, one software engineer, two. It will automatically do the renaming you just create. The position and naming convention of the position will automatically picked up unless you want a different name for different departments. We created a company. What is the name of that? Space Material. Space Material is unique that it will automatically come. Let's copy this and paste into. I hope I provided the same name in the region as. Yes, and in the cost center, as remember the organization page I open in. In the very beginning of one profile. That organization, dialog box or table, having all these things in sequential manner. Although the count was high, but all these three, four things were there. The cost center is missing here, which we will add later on while hiring. And we are creating a supervisory organization which automatically taxed with it. This supervisory organization basically works with these parameters. It needs a company, it needs a cost center, it needs a region, it needs a one more thing is location. As location, I believe we have already here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and the fifth element is our supervisory organization itself. This says inherit from superior. For the time being, this supervisory organization does not have any superior, which is why this information. Area having type supervisory and organization ID reflected as supervisory organization 67918. The moment you add any superior, this organization ID will move here or somewhere here and you will have a superior organization definition here. How you add a superior organization? You need to go to reorganization and assign superior. Under this, you will be basically allowing this supervisory organization to have a manager of the organization. Let's say you are working in one company and you have your manager working on over your hierarchy and that manager also working under somebody's that you will be having a three level hierarchy and organizations work on the similar setup. What is the name of the super reorganization? how many things we have created under this reorganization, which is Workday CM 1001. We created a region. We created what is this? Create a organization, space, material company. We created a cost center and we created a supervisory organization. All four relevant components we have created to enable our organization now that we have created just a standalone organization. We need an expansion of this. What you do in terms of expansion. You probably need a hierarchy under that you will create multiple companies, sub-companies, multiple regions, multiple supervisory organizations, and multiple call center. How you create a hierarchy. We have a task that says create company hierarchy and similarly create cost center hierarchy, create region hierarchy, and create location hierarchy. Supervisory organization itself a hierarchy. We don't have a create supervisory hierarchy kind of task. If somebody asks you what are custom organizations, custom hierarchy organizations, or custom organization, you can call these things. Cost center region company is a custom organization. Supervisory organization is a regional hierarchy. Hierarchy in company. Supervisory. Organization is a hierarchy and these are custom hierarchy. What is the name of the supervisory we created? Yes. Visibility equals 1. Company hierarchy. Any name. Can you suggest any name? Maybe we type chase space material. There is a one we don't need many rules. We have these things here. Seven rules is fine for us. Now that under the details section, as of now, there is no added version or added details here. We are just having a company hierarchy here. In the member, as there are no company added, what you do is you need to go to the company. Under the reorganization, here you have option assign included organization. Here you have C in the hierarchy you. Can assign a superior hierarchy and you can create a subordinate hierarchy, but whatever function you do with these three things, divide itself, you will be acting on a hierarchy function. What is the difference, Akshay, between all the three? Assign means, let's say there is another on top, which you want it to be on top on this hierarchy as a senior or as a primary one with whom all the details, all the values would flow down, that you can mark it as assigned superior if you want somebody to which this company hierarchy will act as a superior, which means a subordinate. That hierarchy will be directly reporting to the CH page materials all in one. It is same as you are hiring a person or you are hiring a candidate under your managerial or under your team. and divide. Let's say you are having 20-25 plus our team members reporting to you, and you want some sort of to be divided into a different organization that can be led by somebody else, or you can lead that organization. It's a diversification of the team you were having. Instead of reporting all to you, you can divide with the same roles and assignment to the separate organization, and you can assign a manager role to that person. Understood? You have this task which is assigned included organization heed. Now you need to call the name of the company you created. This is what we created. Go to detail section. Now you have include space material, which means prior to this action, the includes was not here, which means this hierarchy, this company hierarchy is having a direct and report under this. How you look that direct report or chart. This is how your company hierarchy will look. Is it possible to create all the settings under one location and let's say move that settings to another location, same settings? And sorry, what can you please repeat? We are tagging everything to the location that we are creating initially. Is it possible to migrate, let's say, all these settings to another location midway in case we make a change? For example, if you want to create 5 locations and map some of the organizations under that, and after that business want you to move some of them to a different one. This is your question. Correct. You have basically one option, that is change the location. When you go to the company setup, you have edit company. Under that you have primary location change option. Fine, thank you. Any point of time, if you want any change, you can do that. You just need to go to either. You go to the edit. If it is just a front step, does not require any movement and does not require any of the, head count to be moved. Or second would be if you want an effective date, let's say from 1st of October to 30th of October, you're working in one location, and then you want to expansion or you want a movement from one to another. Put an effective date and you'll do the change, drop location. I hope the setup is clear. The question is clear. Please do like, share, and subscribe to our channel. For more information, contact us sales@therightuptalk.com.